Oh, I'll let you know. I'll get back to you on that. How y'all doing? Good. Right. Bliss, 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 bliss. All I know is that before I can actually follow my bliss, I have to discover what my bliss is. That's a really good place to start. And I know it's cousins of happiness and joy and all of that. And so today, the direction I want to take is to take bliss and go viral with it. Right? It's a title of our talk, Gone Viral. Bliss gone viral. What does that mean? I've always wanted to go viral personally. I know you find that hard to believe, um, but I kind of looked it up, and something I found out that was fascinating. Research continues to prove that going viral doesn't happen by chance. Right on the old science of mind road there. And it says it's actually the result of a powerful emotional experience. And as we know in marketing, a lot of us are, when we market jewelry, we market anything, there's a response that we get when we watch something. It's like watching, the little kitten that goes viral, and you're thinking, God, I just did this great talk. Why is that cat going viral? And it does. It goes viral because it is triggering something. Now, would you like to guess what emotion goes viral the fastest? Fear? No. Fear? Yeah, but anger. Anger is the number one. That's what sends everything out into the. I know none of you can relate to that, but there is a thing about anger, and I want to just talk for a moment on anger, just personally. Anger is not a bad thing. None of these emotions that we have are bad. It's how we utilize them and how we use them. We've been given these great things that. No one ever has to buy pot again. By Rita tells us that it's all inside of us, that all of this is inside of us the same way and we're live. But the thing of it is that, so how could anger be beneficial? Because sometimes it's a motivator. If you let it be a motivator. If you go, enough is enough. We talked about this last week a little bit, that spirituality doesn't mean you float into a room. And if you do, that's great too. It's very entertaining. I haven't done it personally, but at least in that way. But I just want to say that anger can be. It's when we hold on to anger, when you hold on to anything, it becomes an addiction when we hold on to it. When we won't let go of our anger. Instead of saying, I'm so angry, which is the motivators telling me that I need a change. Something needs to change. And sometimes we get angry because the change is within ourselves, not within them and them and them. Yeah, anger. So how do we make it go bliss? I mean, the nice thing, and Rita really put this really clear, is that we already are bliss. We already are everything that we want. Now, what do you do with bliss when you are angry, or you are grieving, or you are all of these things? This is not saying that no matter what I feel bliss. I'm going to call it up. But I will say one thing, it is activated by feelings, emotions. Today in my meditation, I started thinking a lot about, bliss, what does it mean? And it became very heady. And I could feel it then. I said, no, I don't want to just feel bliss. And then my body started vibrating. And it just said, I'm here. Bliss is what we're made of. Pure, absolute, God-powered bliss. Music. A friend of mine, her name is Amy Armstrong. She's a beautiful lady. She's been around for a long time and on the circuit of, she's kind of funny and sings and does a whole bunch of things. Well, right now she's experiencing cancer. And I say experiencing because I have to be very careful how you identify things. She's experiencing cancer. She's not cancer. And sometimes when you're in the midst of something that's a little chaotic, you identify to that. And then we become that. And she was saying today that, she's doing the GoFundMe, she's doing the stuff that, to try. She's in Mexico, Puerto Vallarta, because that's where she can get the treatments that she needs. But what she said that was important was she said that she had a gig 2 days after her chemo. She had a gig, and there was 8 people there. Only 8 people showed up, and they had masks on. They were doing their thing. And she was singing, and she said she realized how healing. She looked in their eyes, and they were smiling with their eyes, and they needed that connection to music. Music, as I've told Kyle, I've told all the music, it's healing. And I'm not going to get on a soapbox, but I think my immune system needs healing. It needs to come out of fatigue and go into that. We had the same thing that she was talking about. We had a concert here, put it together, a little concert. It was healing. The only thing that was asked of everyone is, can you just let the outside world go for 1 hour and 20 minutes? That's what we do here. We just go, I used to say this when I was an acting teacher. I said, they come in, especially teenagers. Anybody who's, oh my God, their lives are, you don't understand, Mr. Feren. Oh, so much homework and it was very dramatic for an acting class. And so I said, and I would tell adults the same thing. Is there any way you could leave that stuff outside? And then when you come in here, surrender and let go for a moment. I think that's where we're really at, is at a surrendering place in life. At least I am. I love this. Even in the midst of this chaos. Now, this is a question we can all ask ourselves. If there's chaos, if you're not having chaos, then it's fine. Just turn on something and you'll find it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to slip anything. But the whole thing is, this is a great question. Even in the midst of chaos, who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? Nobody can tell you that. Nobody can tell you that. And just let me know, we've been crying about freedom long before these 9 months. And we'll be crying it another time too if we don't change it. It's not about, I call it BC, before Corona. Everybody was not running around going, I was so blissful. Everything happened. My account was full and my relationships were all together. They weren't saying that. They were finding something else we're going to be working on. And now this was the great, oh, he's walking. That means something. The great distraction. I woke up this morning. I said, you know me, I just so honest with y'all. Anyway, so yesterday I wore this suit type thing, and I got 94 hits on Facebook going, you look so slim and trim. And I was like, really? Wow. Is that, I don't know what they thought of me the last maybe 5 to 7 years that I've been here, but you would have thought that I had a complete makeover there. Oh my God, wowza, handsome, wow, woo. And I told Rita, I said, wow, what did they see? All it was a tie and this and a very tight vest. I said the same thing. I said it was my man girdle, and no one's. But I really did. I looked how I did. And they go slim and trim over there in Kauai, and they're like, and I'm like reading it, almost believing it, and I'm like, oh my God. So somewhere that's in my subconscious, just to let you know, where I couldn't have that out there. So why did we go there? Why did we go there? Because it is about, what do you want to be? What can you be in the midst of all of it? in the midst of remembering, as we were saying, our beautiful Jai. How do we allow, because I'm going to tell you something. Jai would be whispering right now, get your bliss on, man. Get your bliss on. And tights, pink tights too. And the thing of it is what do you do? Because that's what this philosophy gets a little sometimes a bad rap, because they go, you can't always be blissful. I think that's not true. Because here's the deal. I'm always filled with bliss. I am bliss. Whether or not I activate it is the other question. And can you activate it while you're in pain? I love Joseph Campbell. He says, find a place inside, and we can all take this home today. Find a place inside where there's joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. Find a place inside where there is joy, and the joy will burn out the pain. Pain is not a bad thing either. It's just a reminder that we are alive. But we don't have to live in that pain for all of that. We have a power that lives within us that says, all pain to me, when there's pain, especially physical, it's just a cry to go home, to wholeness. It's saying, ow, I want to go home. I want to go home. Do we all know where home is? Home is right here. And for many years, my happiness, my joy, my bliss depended upon you, them. I'll be happy when. I'll be happy when I fix this and I'll fix that. And bliss asks something else of us. It says, can you just be who you are? No matter what. No matter if they think I look very thin in that picture. 94 hits, probably over 100 when I get home. But I'm not looking at it. Not looking at. It's the truth, you guys. The truth is this. The truth is whatever I'm seeing in my life, that's something about that is happening. It's called the mental equivalent. I learned something. I had another revelation, another rebirthing this week. Glad you asked. I always wanted to be a nice guy. Just a nice guy. Spent a lot of my life wanting to have the reputation. There's the nice guy. Does nice things. Oh, I love it. He always agrees with me. Nice guy. Always agreeing with me. Nice guy. Doesn't have much of an opinion of himself, but nice guy. And I heard, and I love this because it said, I forgot who it was. Oh, it was, slipped away. He said, I would rather be, and we're going to use the guy stuff, I would rather be a good man than a nice guy. And I really got that. It hit home. It hit home because that is who we are, is good. That is who we are. A nice guy spends a nice woman. They spend most of their time people-pleasing and wanting to make sure that you approve of them. And sometimes you don't get approval when you don't agree with something. Have you ever found that in your life? Yeah. So I thought, that's what I want to be, a good person. I want, when I'm gone from here. Oh, you guys look all like, I can't even imagine that. I just want you to say, Patrick was so thin, wasn't he? He was no. I want you to say about me, what a good person I am. And not being a nice guy doesn't give you permission to be stepping on people either. Stepping on people. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be a nice guy anymore. I had a buddy of mine one time told me, I'm done being a nice guy. So now what are you going to be? because he's going to, no, I'm not going to take any of that anymore. You wait and see. And then he would argue for his limitations, and then I would say, wow. So Bliss, I would say wow, and then a few other things. Yeah. In the midst of life, let's not even call it chaos. Let's not even give it that identity. In the midst of life, who do we want to be? It's that simple. What do I want to be? And then whatever it is you want to be, then become it. Wow. It's amazing that when we do and we transcend and it's eternal, it's an interesting place for me to think about, because I'm thinking, this has given me such an opportunity in life to not only remember who I am, but to know that I can become anything that I want. So how do we do it? We claim our bliss. And remember, and the only reason I'm saying it is because I can. Because I got the camera and I've got this and I'm here, and you're kind of captive for a moment. We weren't meant to be isolated. And I know that there's some modifications we're all doing in our life. I get it. But we weren't meant to be isolated. But we cannot blame the virus or anything else for an isolated consciousness. We have to take responsibility. We have to own it again. To say, when you look at somebody, mask or no mask, look them in their eyes. If they're a stranger, look at them even more. And if they look at you and say, that's creepy, then just I'm not saying gaze. Look them in the eyes. I saw a beautiful movie, Uncle Frank. I watched it the other night, and it's very much worth watching. But and he was a gay man, and it was during the time where they really went against, and you couldn't come home and all that. But I remember him saying this one moment. They go, "No, I don't have any problem with the way you are, man. It's just, He says, look me in the eyes." The only reason bullies are bullies is because no one looked them in the eyes and said, I see you. Now stop it. No. Enough is enough. I love you enough to see you. Does that make sense? I love you enough. That's what's happening out there. God, I was almost wrapping this and it just, blah. That's what's happening. I was talking to Jonathan the other day. We were talking about the aloha breath. And until I realize, and this is a good time to realize it because we're all afraid of each other's breath right now. But here's the deal. Until your breath and my breath is one breath. One breath. The very breath that you're breathing, Jonathan and I were just talking about it. The very air we're breathing, we're all breathing it together. And that's some of the fear. I get it, and that's fine. This isn't a thing about fear and what are you doing out there. This is what are you doing in here. And until I know that there's no difference between your breath and my breath, then I don't know how I'll ever be able to allow Source, which is the one breath that breathes every single person in this room, is breathing us. I said it last week. We don't have any strings. We're not puppets. Kyle's not playing because somebody's playing. Spirit's moving through and saying, oh, I want to sing. I want to dance. I want to be blissful. I want to cry. I want to feel. Feeling good, feeling whatever it is, but feel. The dormant part of ourselves will not allow itself to be dormant. And if it's not dormant, what it will do is it will leave. Because it won't stay in a house that is divided against itself. Can I hear amen? No. So, in closing, I just want to say we have an incredible opportunity that has never been presented in my 62 years of living as an opportunity that's never been presented before. An opportunity to see the truth, to live the truth, to love when my out there is saying that's not the way it is. I get to say, I understand that, but that's not what I believe. I believe that God had a great idea and he put my name on it and said, now I'm going to breathe you. Have at it. And that's each and every one of us. You are loved.